this is Howie, and I'm here to help you win with money. Unfortunately, this is my third video, but I had a problem with my second one. There was a problem with the audio, so I wanted to create another video so that you don't have to watch a blanks or watch a screen with no audio and you can't even see what I'm teaching. So let's go here. Let's do a quick market update. The market is ending out flat. If so, the market will be red for the week. And I wanted to look at Bitcoin real quick. It did touch 55,000 today, and I'm hitting refresh, and it's still refreshing. It's a little bit under 55, but you see what's weird? This thing is up 5% today, and if you look at RIOT is actually not doing so well. It actually hit, I don't remember, was it 70? Yeah, look, $77 today, and it's actually down. But I wanted to show you something about RIOT blockchain on how I'm trading it. But before we do so, let's just back up 5 days. I want to see the trend. You can see how this is moving up and what I did during this move and how I made money. I went into my E-Trade account, and you see that I put a filter on. I put apply. I'm going to copy all this into a spreadsheet. And here you go. I just pasted it out. So it has all the data here, except it doesn't have the data for today. It has yesterday's data, but I wanted to go through some of the trades and explain it. Let me see, can I add in today's trade? The best way to get it is go into this transaction, and you can see I did 2 trades today. I rolled them out. I'm going to copy this. Now here's the problem. This does not match the other transaction log, so I'm going to manually have to create the record. So here's what the paste looked like. It's not very clean. You can see that. What I'm going to do is help this thing make it cleaner. So what I'm going to do is, okay, even that's garbage. Look, let me try to just make this cleaner. Look, I can't even get rid of those squares. That's fine. I just care about this. So I don't, actually these are the 19. I don't need to be exact on the time. You see these had exact timestamps, so I don't care about that. Now what I'm going to try to do is build this back the way it should be. So I'm going to take my time and figure this out. I think I did it right. I minus $1 for commission just in case. So these are today's transactions, and I'm going to paste it here. So now what I want to show you is what does all this mean? This week started on the 15th, and actually I didn't do anything on the 15th. I'm surprised. Normally I would do something on the 15th. Oh, I remember. It was a holiday. Can't trade on a holiday. So on the 15th was a holiday. So 16 was the first day I was able to trade. And you can see what I did. The contract, I collected right here. I collected $454. And if you look at the math, I got rid of it. I closed it at 39 right here. So you can see the difference is $375 over the weekend. Then what I did was, by moving the contract up, I collected another $256 on this day, on the 16th. Now, what happened there? I closed that contract the next day and collected another $179 profit in net. And then I rolled that out up to a $58 cash secure put, and that's over here. And you see the difference is what I'm making in profit. So what I end up doing today was something similar, but I wanted to split it out now. I didn't want 2 contracts on the same day. And it's a good thing I did, because what I end up doing was I split one for next week, which is over here, and I collected $400 already for next week, and I put a $60. And then for today, I wanted one to expire worthless. Now, unfortunately, this one didn't go for me. I was going to try to do this for an extra $100. It cost me $10 to close, and then to roll it up closer to the market price, I collected another $100. Now, what I'll have to do now is, this is not going to expire worthless. There's only an hour left to trading, and I wanna fix this before the end of the day. Now, there's a couple things that could happen. If RIOT moves back up, it can expire worthless. I don't know if I want to wait for that. So I'm just going to roll it. If you do a roll to next week, you collect $800. That's a lot of premium. But I'm not going to roll it for the same price. I want to roll it. What I did with the other one is I rolled it to a $60. So I have some different prices, And what I want to do is probably ladder them. I'm going to stagger them to be different prices. So because this one is a 73, I may do something like this. 60, yeah, we'll play around with it. So I have one at 60. I may do something like this. You make them a different price so that you have some flexibility in the way you move. So let's put this in. Let's collect another $300 for this. In essence, by doing this, I collected the 100 earlier today, and I'm still collecting another 300. So in net, I still collected 4. The only difference is, yes, the price is a little bit higher than what I wanted. So it's probably less effective than the one that I already have open, which is over here. So sometimes it is good to see this because this one didn't move against me. This one didn't move for me. If it moved for me, I would have made more money. But this is still not a bad move. Let's just do this. And you can see here at 3:05 p.m., an hour before closing, I just collected another 200 and change to roll it out to next week. So it releases some buying power, and that's what I'm doing. So now I'll go back to the spreadsheet. So one way you can look at this is I got the summation of all of these. And if you want to divide it out, so now the hard part is RIOT was moving so fast. What do you use as the average price of how much cash was used? I can use the min, max, or mid. Doesn't really matter, but you can see why. So I'll show you what I mean. If you did this divided by, let's assume I use $6,000, that's $12,000. You see what I'm doing? If I use $12,000 and I collected this much this week, I made 9% return on my money this week alone. Now, if you use the max, which is 73, then the answer looks a little bit different. 73 will be $14,600, and I made 8% return. If you look at the numbers that I used starting, it was under $50. So I was using only less than $10,000 in my cash, and I made 11%. Regardless of what number you use, so for right now, let's just settle on $14,000. And let's look at the previous week. So let's just look at the numbers real quick. Previous week is from 8 to 12. So let me build that out for you. Let's do a summation over here. And you go all the way up here. So that was last week. That's how much I made. Same concept. Well, what do you do and what was my average price? Well, last week, RIOT was much lower. So if you even use 41 or 42, that's $8,000 in cash. And here you go, my percentage rate of return for 1 week. And that doesn't look right, but it is right. Because look, I've been doing it over and over and over. This was the previous week. So after looking at the data, one of the things you want to do is try to evaluate. While I'm making good money on my cash, I have to be cautious not to take up all the cash up. I'm using these as cash secure puts, and it does take a lot of buying power. I could have been doing other stuff with my money. So I think what I want to do is, I was writing 2 contracts for a long time. I think I'm going to get away from that. I'm going to go back to releasing some of the cash back out. And I need to go back to my iron condors and stick to the other stuff that was working. It wasn't like the other stuff wasn't working, but this was a great way to play one ticker symbol all week and make $1,000 using very little cash. Again, I used $10,000 to produce this return on one holding. On the other side of this, the other argument would have been, well, why didn't you just buy the stock, held it, and if you sold it near $60 or $70, $80, you would have made more money. And that is a true statement. But what you want to recognize is, if I knew for sure it was going up, wouldn't you think I would just do a long call or something like that? I would have made more money that way, even from a rate of return or return on investment. But because no one knows, I did not expect Bitcoin to keep on going up to 55,000. And so what I ended up doing was, I was playing the put side And I always gave myself a cushion away from the market price so that I have a way to make money on something that was very risky and volatile. But at the same time, I'm not looking at what I could have made. I'm looking at what I did make. And you measure that against the risk you took. So for risking even this much, I risked $8,000 for that 1 week. And I made $1,000 for taking that risk. So that's a great rate of return for 1 week. No one's complaining. I would have been happy with that rate of return for a whole year. Now, I didn't have the risk of owning Riot blockchain or holding the bag per se. I didn't have to worry about timing my entrance and exit. I was using options so I can navigate around it. And that's what I end up doing. Let me know what you think. Let me know how well you're playing Bitcoin. Let me know if you think Bitcoin will be a good play for the rest of the year. A lot of people thinking that the move with Tesla buying Bitcoin for their balance sheet could be the sign of other companies investing in Bitcoin for their balance sheet. And that could be the driver that pushed Bitcoin to over $100,000 per coin this year. Do I want that to happen? Absolutely not. And there's a reason for that. I buy Bitcoins in very small increments. We're talking about $20 a month, $40 a month, whatever it may be. Sometimes I do these weird amounts, right? It's whatever is available in your checking account. And if I have $55, I'll buy $55 worth. But that's part of dollar cost averaging into it. I don't load up. I don't know what it's going to be worth. I buy little pieces of Bitcoin every month. $20 is like coffee money. I don't want Bitcoin to be at $50,000. In order for me to accumulate a little bit more coins, I need the value of the Bitcoin to drop down. For others, if you got a lot of position, if you're holding one coin or two coins, you're fine. You're happy about this move. But there are many of us who own 0.000 whatever fraction we have. It's not big enough to change our life. It's barely enough to buy a cup of coffee at Starbucks. What we need the value to drop back down so that while we're in our accumulation phase, we're collecting more coins. And then at some point when we get to that one Bitcoin mark or a half a Bitcoin mark, if it moves up later, that's fine. I'm going to end this episode. Love you guys. Don't forget, let's do this together. Let's do this $1 at a time. As always, have a profitable day. Bye-bye.